Hi everyone, it's Simmerhayls and I'm back in The Sims 4. Today we're in Oasis Springs and we are doing a renovation. This time I am doing Yuma Heights, which is it's a fairly large lot. I can't remember the exact size actually, but it's in Oasis Springs and I've never actually done a renovation on this lot before. So I had a look around at one that I've not done a renovation on before, and I thought I wanted to do one that's a bit different. This one, I love the style of it, and actually the front of the building, if you see the start and then you see mine, I don't think the front changes too much, but the actual inside and the back of the building changes a lot more. But I really loved the style of the front of the building, and I thought it looked really pretty. So I have made some changes to it, but I actually wanted to keep the style of the build. I've changed the windows and things like that, but I think the style of the bit, I've kept like the essence of the build, but I've just put my own spin on it. And I really I wasn't keen on the windows that was on there, so I've gone for these more like orangey, I just think they're like a richer colour wood. So I've gone with those throughout the build, and I just think they really suit this style of build. I know not everybody's a fan of that kind of wood, but I think it really suits this one. And when it's all done, I think it looks really nice. I changed the colour of the roof as well. I just thought it was like a bit too pinkish. I just didn't think it really suited the build. So I did change the colour of the roof. And I also had a couple of darker portions to the build just to give it that like depth. I think it looks better with the bolder colour on the front, and it just gives you more depth to the building. So that's why I went for that. And I think with the new colour roof as well, it all just seems to work together a lot better. I did keep the arches that was there already. They are windows, which at first I thought it was a window with a fence, but it isn't. It is just a window. So I did keep them, but then I added some arches to go with them so that I could add some stairs and stuff. I thought I wanted to keep that kind of character, like a Spanish type villa, or somewhere a bit more exotic than the UK. So I wanted to keep that kind of style, and I kind of liked the arches, and it's quite nice because we've got the windowed arches and the actual arches that match each other, so you can mix and match with those, which is really good. And also it came in the two colour walls that I'm using in this build, so that even helped even more, because where I've put those darker panels on the front, the arches matched. They match that colour as well, so I got to use the two different colours with them. So yeah, that worked really well for this build. I actually thought there was too much space in this. I mean, it is a big mansion, and I thought there was too much space. One thing that really bugs me about EA builds is they have these big mansions that have no garden at the back. So that's why I moved the whole build forward and made a smaller front garden, because you wouldn't pay like a ridiculous amount for a house and have no garden at the back. So I do like to include I try and keep it realistic. Like, I know moving the house isn't realistic, but I try and keep the proportions of the build realistic. And I think with a house that's this grand, you would want a decent back garden. So we're moving into the portion of redoing the house now. So this is, I've stripped the house now, and now we're getting into the decorating part of it. But just for like figures, the original house cost over 310,000 simoleons. When it's all renovated, it actually costs less, so it ends up at 225 or just under 225,000 simoleons. And the floor plan does change upstairs and things like that. It ends up with 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, an office and a swimming pool, which it didn't have before, and it costs less than the original house. So I've used probably cheaper furniture, but I don't know. I don't know how I ended up making it cheaper, but either way, I think I prefer the newer style than the original. I do think a lot of EA builds are really dark to start with, so I like to brighten them up. And I've tried to use things that probably suit the the location. So like this red wouldn't suit every kitchen, but I think in this location it really suits. It's like a more Moroccan type theme. I haven't got the Oasis the courtyard pack, the kit. I haven't got that. I actually think that would have worked really well with this location, but I haven't got that kit at the minute. I need to get that one actually, because it's got some really nice items, and I think some of the tiles might have worked really well in this kitchen. But I think this tile, I do like the fact that the walls and the tiles have some matching swatches, so you don't have to have the tiles all around the room. I'd like some more like that, where we get the matching paint to go with tiles, so you don't have to have the tiles completely like on every wall. So it is nice to have some mix and match papers like that. I think this paper, it's either from the Parenthood pack or the Magic one. I can never remember which one, but I do love this wallpaper in the dining room, and I use that one quite a bit as well. The only thing that I wasn't sure that fit in, but I did include it, was the bar bottles. But I just think you need something in these areas because it's such a big room. But it's probably a bit too modern for this build. But I just thought, I've got a couple of dresses already, so I put like the bar type thing there. I did try and make it fit in the best I could, but I just wasn't sure what else to put there. And yeah, that's what I know it's a bit too modern really for this build, but that's what I've gone with in there. And I have tried to fill the proportions of the room because it's a huge room for a dining room. But yeah, I think having such a big house, you need like a grand dining room, but I wanted it to still fit in with the build, so I didn't want it to be too modern. Or yeah, I wanted it to fit in with everywhere, and hopefully with like these greens and stuff, it still feels kind of, I don't know, like it's got inside out type vibes. So you've got a bit of nature in there, and yeah, I think this room's really home. I think the whole house is really homely actually, even though it's huge. So it's a huge homely house. I didn't want it to feel like a big grand mansion. I wanted it to still feel like cozy. So hopefully that balance is kind of there. The living room is obviously a bit of an awkward shape, just because of where I kept the stairs where they were originally. So we've got this awkward shape at the back, but I've tried to make it work. You'll have to let me know what you think about it at the end. But one thing is, I forgot about the balcony next to the living room, and I'd not put a door to it. And it was like something I had to come back to later on, so I had to move the piano from where it is at the minute to near the bookshelf, because and yeah, I'd realised I've left a balcony with nowhere to get to it, so I did have to move the piano in the end. But it was just an oversight really. I just completely forgot that you needed a door to get out onto that balcony. So yeah, it was my own stupid fault, because I'd kind of just, even though you can see it while I'm building, I was that wrapped up in this room, I'd forgotten all about the balcony. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how I missed it, but hey. So yeah, the living room is very cream and browns, like really neutral colours, and I think that kind of suits. So it kind of goes with the outside actually, because it's got the creams and browns outside. So I think that theme goes through to the living room quite nicely. But each room has definitely got its own identity. So like the kitchen's very I think it's like European style. This one's very neutral, and then the bathrooms are quite they're quite stylized, I think. So I haven't filmed a lot of the bathrooms because they're very similar, but obviously you can see them if you want to download the builder. It's on my EA gallery, Simmerhayls, and you can have a look at all the individual bathrooms. I just didn't want to film all of them because it gets a bit samey, but I've put some of them in the speed build, so you can see some of them. I'm not sure if I've put some in the screenshots, but like I say, if not, you can check it out on my gallery and have a look. But yeah, a lot of the bathrooms have got the same tiles and very, very similar designs. I've given them slightly different identities, but yeah, pretty much same styles, and just more like the accessories that make them different. So yeah, this fire is one of my favourites as well. I think this is from Eco Lifestyle, but I just think it works with so many builds. So I really like that one. And just added a few plants to clutter this room up. So a really simple living room, but I think it really works in this huge house. This is a lot bigger than I usually do as well for renovations. It's such a big build, but I've tried with it. I don't know if I don't know if it'll be to everyone's taste. It's definitely got it's not for everyone. I don't think this build, because it's not completely like your greys and your whites. It's definitely got some of its own identity features in each room. Like I say, because they're all different. They've all got their own styles. So I think as we go along, you'll kind of see what I mean. But I think it's maybe not going to be to everyone's taste. It's very grandiose, or however you pronounce it. So yeah, a bit show-offy, I think. But let me know what you think. So this open area at the top of the house, it's on the third floor. I think this is like a guest suite, really, because you come upstairs and it's got its own bedroom and bathroom joined together. It's got a balcony as well. I haven't put anything on the balcony upstairs because there's quite a few balconies, so I haven't put anything on the one at the back. But if you wanted to add some things on there, there's plenty of space. But yeah, I thought this one would make a nice guest area. So if you invite Sims to stay over, they've got their own separate area. Maybe you want to get in a new relationship and you're inviting them round, then you've got this is like their area that they can come and stay in. I think it would impress any sim that you want to invite over, because they've got quite a big area to themselves. So yeah, like I say, the bathrooms are probably a bit too fancy really for this, but I've tried to, I've used different mirrors and things in each one, so they've definitely got their own little styles. But yeah, they've got like these vanity units, and a couple have got the corner bath, and so they're definitely fancy for what I consider for a bathroom. We've got a really simple one, but these are very fancy. This I think is probably the safest room in the house in terms of colour scheme. So we've got the wood from downstairs, so we've got this coming through the house, and the creams. This one, yeah, I think this is the most simple and safe room style wise. It's not my favourite room in the house at all, but I just think for style it's probably the safest and most simple. So I've added like a dresser and a dressing table, so you can the Sims can do the makeup and things like that. Yeah, I've added a few little homey touches, but I wanted to keep this fairly simple, especially with it being a guest area. So this one's probably the most simple room for bedrooms anyway. So probably the most simple bedroom. And but I think I've tried to use some different pieces that I don't always use. Although I do tend to use that clock quite a lot, because I actually think we need more clocks. We don't have that many choices of clocks, and they can make a real statement. Instead of having a picture, having a large fancy clock can be a statement piece on a wall as well. So it'd be nice to have a few more options for clocks. I might be in the minority that wants that, but I just think instead of having wall art, it's quite nice to have different pieces. And we've got like loads of wall pieces, but I just don't think they're always suitable for a lot of the homes that I build. Like we've got balloons and stuff like that, which if you're organising a party, but not for everyday decorations. So yeah, I would like to see more things like clocks, or wall pieces that are not just a painting, just different wall pieces. Yeah, I know what I mean. Yeah, I just think we need more things like that, just to vary what you can put on the walls. But I do like having like a feature clock, and I don't think we've got enough in the game. So yeah, that's a little rant. Stupid rant, but one worth having, I think. I love this little seating area. It's just dropped down by one one drop, so Sims can walk down that step. But I think it's nice having that little fire pit area. It's kind of a cute little area for them to go and chill. So yeah, I really like that little area. And then they've got a barbecue under the cover, so if they want to do cooking and it's raining, then they've still got that. And then it's all lit up, and then I've added these beams to the lights just so that it merges in with the fence. So I think it's come together really well, this little outside area. I think it looks really cute, and it's definitely well lit up. And I know I've put loads of lights, but I just think it looks really cute. A little fancy area outside. So I think with the cost of the house, they need something special for their garden. And then we've added a couple of wine racks and some little clutter items. Although I haven't cluttered the whole thing up, I just thought I wanted to add a couple of bits so it looks like it's being used. I just finished this area off with some plants just to try and make it look like well lived in, and add a few trinkets to the kitchen. And then the kitchen and the kind of outside area are done. I do end up moving that. I was going to say I don't leave that in the sofa, the fire pit. So I did remember moving that. But yeah, I've got the little laundry area in the kitchen, and then we've got. I did move the centre unit because I chose to have a different door. I was trying to get as much light in here as possible. The only problem with building in The Sims, if you have these kind of rooms outside, but they're kind of like outside areas, so the bits with the arches are classed as rooms, they're not letting light through to the kitchen, even though I think they would in real life. They'd let a lot more light through than they do in the game. So I was trying to make as much light as possible in the kitchen. So I did change the doors, and I also added like another height of windows so that it let as much light in as I could, or as much natural light in as I could, for the game. But yeah, I think in real life it would probably be lighter than it is on here. But yeah, anyway, it's not a complaint or anything. It's just like one of those details where if you don't have a lot of lights in a room like this, it would look really dark. So it's just something to be aware of if you want to do a design like this, that yeah, the lighting can be a bit of an issue. So it's just something to think about if you do want to do a design like this. But I think for the feature, and you know, you've got that traditional look of having the balcony kind of coming off the kitchen. I just think it adds to the aesthetic. But like you can see, once I've took the lights out, that it's so dark in there. So I did try and get as much light in this as possible, but as you can see with it is letting some light in, but it's really hard to tell in the game. And yeah, I did want it to have some natural light as well, not just rely on artificial lights. So I did try and get as much light in there as I could. So yeah, I just think having the big glass doors instead of although I think that the wooden doors kind of went with the feature of the house, I just thought these ones definitely helped with the light situation, so that's what I ended up going with. And then yeah, I was just trying to place lights that I thought went with the build, and I did spend ages like looking at different lights to try and get ones that I just thought complemented the room. So yeah, it did take me a while to find some that went with this room, because I think a lot of the lights are quite modern in this game as well, and don't really suit maybe this style of room. So, or maybe that's just the lights that I'm used to looking at, because I usually go for the modern looking pieces. So I found I spent a long time on this build looking at the lights that we've got in the game. I think that's where custom content comes into its own, because you've got so many different styles with custom content, and we're quite limited with the Sims objects. So yeah, I did enjoy finding different things though to suit this specific style of build. So I did really enjoy finding some different things that I wouldn't always use. Like these baths, I think they're gorgeous, but don't go in every build, because I think in a way they do look quite traditional. they're not particularly modern looking, but I think in this build you can get away with having a bit of a mix of modern and traditional, because it's got that kind of vintage look from the outside. So yeah, I think you can have a mix like this in this type of build, and it makes a nice change rather than one or the other. So I think when it was the original EA build, I think it was too traditional, and it didn't really match the outside of the house, because the outside of the house was so light and then the inside was just really, really dark. So I think it needed a bit more of a mix originally, which is why I'm doing a renovation on it, because I wasn't quite happy with the original look. But I just enjoy renovating them anyway and putting my own style on it. So other people probably wouldn't go for the items that I've gone for, but I think that's just the fun of renovating them and just putting your own spin on them. So I think this bathroom turns out really nice. This is like the master bedroom's ensuite. So this one's quite luxurious, and yeah, I think this one turns out really nice. They've definitely got his and hers sinks, they've got everything thrown in there for them. So I think they've got a really nice bathroom. The bedroom that they've got is very luxurious, and I'm really pleased with this one. I think this one's turned out the nicest out of all the rooms, of all the bedrooms. I think this one's my favourite. So I know it's over the top. I know that, but I think you can get away with it in The Sims, so why not just go for it and have like a really over the top room that's very expensive looking. But yeah, I really like this room. And I love doing like these fancy headboards with different items that we've got in the game, and just trying to make it as homely and luxurious. Do they go together? Maybe. Yeah, I think they do. I think just having these, something that I couldn't afford in real life, I think having it in the game is just really nice. So yeah, this kind of bedroom would be like the dream, because it just looks so glamorous, but simple at the same time. It's not like there's not just loads of clutter in there. It's still simple, but it's like glamorous, and it looks like it's had a lot of money spent on it, but in the right way. It's tasteful, I think. Hopefully. Yeah, I love this new bed as well. It looks like a wrought iron bed with really nice swatches on it as well, so that's nice to have in the game. Oh, and also on the mantelpiece, I'm not sure what everybody calls them, but like the sideboard pieces, I've added some drawers, so it looks like they're built into the sideboard. I just think it looks like it's all one piece of furniture then. They're all similar colours as well, so I think it does look like it's like one big piece of furniture. So that's quite nice to have. I wasn't sure about the wardrobe. I couldn't find a wardrobe exactly that I was happy with in this room, so I did go with the new ones from high school years, but I'm still not sure about them. I'm not sure they really fit with the rest of the room, but again, it's just what we've got in the game and what went with this kind of room that I was going for. And I think this wardrobe had the best colour matches, but I wasn't sure that they went with the style of the room. But for the colour they did. But yeah, the style, I'm still not 100% convinced on that, but I went with it because they went with the colours. And yeah, so that's what we've got with the wardrobes. I wish we had some more though. I wish we had some more built-in ones, and not the 4-tile ones, because they're just too big. I would like some more 2-tile built-in wardrobes that would go with different styles, because the one we've got is fairly modern, and it'd be nice to have some different styles of the built-in wardrobes that you can hide in the walls. Yeah, it'd just be nice to have some more things like that. But yeah, we're starting to get there. We've got a couple more modern options with the wardrobes, but yeah, it would be nice to have a few more styles, because they definitely are like a big item in the room, so they really kind of are a big stylish item that sets kind of the tone of the room. So I definitely think we need some more options. The next room that we've got is the blue room, or a teenager's room. I've designed it with like a teenager in mind, so possibly a boy or a girl who really likes blue. I don't know. It's definitely blue themed, and I've just gone with the theme for this room. So yeah, we've got a lot of blue furniture, desk, sideboard, or like storage unit, and then we've got the fancy headboard. Bit of a theme with this house, I think, having the fancy headboards, and then the I think it was the cats and dogs curtains that I've used, and that's got a few different tones of blues in, so it goes with the different furniture items. If you can hear some rumbling, we've got a bit of a storm, so I apologise if that is coming through on the microphone. I'm not sure if it'll pick it up, but if it does, it is because there's a storm at the moment, so we've got a bit of thunder and lightning, but yeah, it's all alright. It's nice to have some rain because it's been so warm and we don't have aircon, so I'm really pleased for it. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm really happy to actually have some cooler weather. Oh, fingers crossed we get some cooler weather, because our houses can't cope with this heat. It's just, we need aircon over here. If it's going to carry on being hot like this, we definitely need some aircon. And this one, I was trying to do the same that I did in the other room. So I wanted the drawers to look like they was part of the units. I'm going to say it didn't work as well in this one because they didn't go with the unit as much, but I think, I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't work as well with this particular sideboard, but I kind of liked the lights on this one, and it's probably a bit cooler for a teenager than the other room. So yeah, I don't know. Some people hate it, some people like it, I think, but I've gone with it anyway. We've gone with it in this build with everything. Just gone with it. So yeah, they've got this like big corner desk, but it's got storage in. So it is like a clothes unit, but I just think it looks like a big built-in corner unit. And so they've got the storage, but they've also got the desk. It's kind of a cool little corner actually, this one, and they've got one of the new computers from the high school years pack. So I think I really like these computers. I think they work really well. So I'm really loving the high school years furniture actually. I think there's some gorgeous pieces in it, so I'm really pleased with that pack. I'm glad I bought it. There's some packs that I like more than others, and that one definitely, I love the build items in it. So if you enjoy building, I would definitely recommend that pack. It's just that, and Eco Lifestyle are probably my favourite for build items, and Tiny Living complements Eco Lifestyle really well as well. So them two together, and then this pack, I think there's just some great items in them. So yeah, I definitely recommend those packs. They're definitely some of my favourites anyway. But yeah, if you've got any different favourites, let me know. Let me know which packs you really like. And this is the blue bathroom to go with the the blue bedroom. Although did I stick with it? I know I got rid of that bath, so I'm not sure if I stuck with the blue theme. But like I said, these tiles I've used in all the bathrooms, so they are similar, but they've all got their own individual furniture pieces. But I've tried to make some different things in them, but they've definitely got like a theme going on with these like neutral tones in them. But yeah, I've tried to make them a bit fancier than your standard sink and tub bathroom. They've got some like these shelves and stuff just to make them a bit more fancy. I think if you get buying a house like this, you want something that's not just your standard bathroom. So I've definitely tried to think, like when you see things on Grand Designs and you're like, oh, they're just so nice. I was thinking like that kind of style for this house, so I wanted it to stand out a little bit. And also those tiles in the hallway do not stay, because I was like, no, they're like the doorway where you're coming in tiles. They're not for a hallway, so I don't keep them like that. They do change. But yeah, let's skip over to the next room. So this is going to be the home office, or maybe like a work from home type area. it's probably the room I'm least happy with, just because I don't think it necessarily suits the aesthetic of the house, and that's always something that I like to do. I like a theme for the house, but because I think, especially this work from home setup is so modern, we don't have a version of that that's maybe more traditional looking. So it's like trying to fit this into a house that's not overly modern. Maybe I just struggle with that. I don't know. But yeah, this is probably the room. It's not that I hate the room. It's just I don't think it particularly goes with the rest of the house. And I did really want to have a kind of theme for the house. I wanted this like rustic, but not overly traditional, but not too modern. Does that make sense? Yeah. But that I just wanted that to go through the house, and this room, I just don't think it quite got there with that theme that I was going for. So that's the only thing I'm really disappointed with, is this room. So if you've got any ideas of what would look better in a home office, that's, yeah, maybe I just shouldn't have used the like streaming setup, because I could have done a more traditional office if I'd have gone for a different desk and not had that. But I was thinking one of the Sims could work from home. So yeah, I've maybe got two in my head with that, and should have just gone with one desk and not had the streaming setup as well. Yeah, looking back, I think maybe that would have worked better. But anyway, I suppose if you're going to download this build, you could just change the office or have another bedroom. Yeah, just have another bedroom if you don't want that. But it is the room that I'm probably just not 100% happy with. So that is the room that I'd probably change out of all of them. So let's move on to the final two bedrooms. So the first one that we've got is a twin bedroom, and it's a child's twin bedroom. So I've thought of it as two girls, but you can always just change the colour scheme. So if you've got a family where they've got twin boys or two children boys, then you could just change the colours of the items that are in here. I don't think they're particularly gendered. It's just that there is a pinky coral type colour bed. Yellow would work for any kid. But yeah, I think if you wanted to just change the colour scheme to whichever child you've got, if the family you've got really likes green, you could just change the colours, or it just depends what family you're playing with. But I've just designed it with the colours I liked, really, and I thought the yellow and the coral kind of colours complemented each other. So, and also I've gone with this divider because you can have pictures and stuff on it. And I just think it splits the room up nicely, so that the kids have got their own space, but then they've got this shared space as well. So I think that's kind of nice, especially because they've both got their own windows. So they definitely have, on a night, they've got their own little space, which might make them feel a bit more grown up. And yeah, it'd be nice to have your own little area if you're sharing a bedroom with a sibling, I think. I've never had to do it, but I think if you did, it would be nice to have your own little area as well. And it is quite a big room, I think, to share. So I don't think they're kind of squashed for space in this bedroom. They've definitely got enough room to have their own spaces plus a shared space as well. And I've just cluttered it up with all these teddies and little things that they might want in their room. Also, I wanted to use a shelf as a desk in this room. So I sized a desk down, because then you can put a computer on the sized down desk, but then put something under it to look like it is the desk. So, but with this, I think it looks like the IKEA desks. So I've done it that way. And also you can then have the chair off centre, so it's not dead straight. It just to vary it up a little bit, so you're not using the same desk all the time. So I think it's kind of nice to add these little different features in. And then these floating shelves, these colours go perfectly with this room on this floating shelf. So I was pleased with that it's got the yellow and the coral in, so I was really pleased with that one. And yeah, and then I just add a few little clutter items, things on the wall, and some medals and things like that. A little dollhouse. They've got wardrobes in they're matching colours to the beds, so it's definitely colour themed, this room for them. And then they've, what else did I added the medals. I can't remember if I added anything else. I think I might have added some pictures, possibly. I can't remember. It wasn't even that long ago that I built it. No, I started off with the pictures, but I swapped them for the medals. I thought the medals looked more child, like belonged in a child's room more than the pictures, so I went with the medals instead of the pictures. So I moved them to the wardrobe, that was it. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten I'd done that. Yeah, they actually went with the height of the wardrobe perfectly, because sometimes when you lower things they just don't quite line up, but they did, so I was really pleased with that, because you don't always get that. Sometimes you'll lower it and it's like, no, doesn't match the height. And I'm not very good with the tool mod, so I just don't use it. This is the toddler room, and this, although I enjoyed doing it, my game crashed when I finished doing this room, and I had to watch the video back to furnish the room as I just furnished it. So I had to decorate this room twice, which was really annoying. But yeah, it was a good job really. The recording didn't crash and it was just the game, because otherwise I don't think I'd have remembered where I'd put everything. But yeah, I just followed the video back and just redid it. So hopefully I've got everything. I think I did, because I was watching it like step by step and then putting things back. So yeah, it took like twice as long just because I had to redo it. But I didn't film it twice. I just had to put it back together after my game crashed. And it's not crashed for ages, so I was really surprised actually. But it'll just teach me. I need to save my game more when I'm building. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it crashed. But I guess, yeah, never mind. I wish it was like other games that just save it as it goes along. But yeah, it didn't, so I was a bit gutted, because it took twice as long. But never mind. It's one of them things, isn't it, with a game. But yeah, I did swear a little bit. I was a bit cross that it crashed, but hey, it's done, and I did manage to redo it. So I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, and I've just not had the game crash like that for a long time, so I was a bit surprised, but never mind. So yeah, and also with this bookshelf, why is it when you raise the books to that first shelf, they slot on okay, but when you raise them to the next shelf up, they just don't line up at all? That's really, really annoying. And also, why can the books not just slot on normally? I mean, it's a bookshelf, and the books that we've got in the game don't attach to it, which I don't get, because you could actually fit them on. So I just don't get that. Like, they should just slot on that bookshelf, but they don't. But yeah, that is it. I mean, it is just a silly complaint, but I just don't understand why we've got books that just don't slot onto a bookshelf when it's got gaps on it. just let us put them on there. I get it, but hey. So this room is quite cluttered. I think for a toddler room, I wanted it to look like it had loads of storage space. So I added some wall boxes that look like they could have clutter in them. When you see me put toys in it, they are actually different to the toys I put in it, because I wasn't quite happy with the ones that I put in it this time, so I did actually change some of them. That's the only real difference I can remember doing. When I redid the room, I thought, actually, we've got some better things than I'd put in them, so I did change that. But yeah, otherwise, I might have forgot that little robot there on the floor. I did put that one back on the wall. But yeah, I might have forgotten that little robot on the floor But otherwise, I think everything else I've remembered. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, I think I've remembered everything other than that little robot on the floor. So you could always add that if you wanted it on there, but I don't think it makes a big difference to the room. So it's not a major upset. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I forgot actually when I redid the room. That's the only thing I've spotted that I don't think I re-added. Eek. Anyway, to the back garden, because obviously I moved the lot forward, there was quite a lot more space at the back. So I decided to add a bit of a focal point. I wanted this something nice for them to come out and look at. So there's this big pond area. I know it's not really usable space, but I just wanted it to be a nice area for them to come and relax. They can come out and they've got like this really nice view, but it's part of their land. So yeah, they've got, it's also very layered. So you've got the upper area, then you come down to the next bit, and then you can come down into the garden with the lake. So you've got all these separate areas, but I think it works with this build. And then I just landscape it with loads of plants, rocks, some of the ferns. Yeah, we've got the just loads of different styles of plants, and I think it suits a build like this. I tried to make this a little bit symmetrical, so it looked purposely done like this, and added like a gravel path, and I've added some of the lights as well, the flat lights that go on the floor. I can't remember what they're called, but I've added some of them in. It looks a little bit like an airport landing strip, but it looks really nice on a night as well. So and then I also add a pool out here, so they've got a pool, a pond and loads of plants. So it's yeah, there's no wasted space really, because they get a couple of deck chairs up on the lower platform. They've obviously got the fire pit on the higher platform, and then they've got the pool at the bottom and the pond and a little like seating area. So if you wanted to get some nice screenshots of your Sims, then this little bench I think here would be, you'd get some really nice screenshots there. So yeah, I think there's a bit of everything in this garden. So we're nearly at the end. I know it's been a bit of a longer speed build, but I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's definitely not my usual style, but I've loved building in Oasis Springs. I know some people don't like this world because the lighting is a bit different. It's a bit more orangey, but I really like it. I think it's really pretty. It's one of my favourite places to build actually, and I don't know why I don't build here more often, because I build in Newcrest quite a lot, but I think the lighting can be a bit harsh in Newcrest, whereas here I think it's a lot softer. I just think you get some really gorgeous screenshots here. So I've enjoyed building back in Oasis Springs, and I'm definitely gonna come back and have a look at the other builds that I haven't. In fact, one of the next ones I want to do is the park here, because there's a really cool building and the park itself is quite ugly, so I think that's crying out for a renovation. And if you want to see that, please let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you did. It's nice to get some feedback, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, have a good week, bye.